Hey everyone, how are you doing? Me, I'm doing pretty good. I played a little bit of catch up and I finally saw Batman vs. Superman, the 3-hour Ultimate Edition, and I loved it. I loved that Lex Luthor is a nerdy twerp. I didn't mind the super overblown action. There's something about Zack Snyder's immature action fests that I find palatable, unlike, say, Michael Bay. I liked all the grand operatic flourishes and the overblown religious illusions. I like it. I really do not feel the what everyone else is saying, that Marvel movies are great, but DC movies are bad, and DC needs to, get its act together. I think they're doing fine, but that's just me, and I'm kind of weird. And after watching Batman Superman, I actually made it to the movie theater to go see Suicide Squad with my brother and his girlfriend. Now, Suicide Squad, is it a dumb, trashy movie? Yes. Is it flawed? Oh, hell yes. It's your typical kind of Dirty Dozen plot. It's over the top and ridiculous. There were way too many pop songs popping up on the soundtrack at random moments. It's like, Jesus, I've heard Sympathy for the Devil in enough movies. I don't need to hear it again. The strangest musical choice, though, was when they were putting on their gear to the tune of Eminem's Without Me. Without Me, the hippest, hottest song of 2002? What the fuck? I don't know. And the villains were ludicrous. There were some pacing issues. But despite all that, somehow I fucking loved it. I don't know why. Part of it might be that, Actually, I have not really seen many action movies lately. I've spent this whole last year watching slow-moving dramas like Better Call Saul and, prestige films like Spotlight and Bridge of Spies, or whimsical cartoons like Steven Universe and Gravity Falls. After kind of abstaining from action movies for a while, bad action movies. I used to love these. You gotta get away from them, but when you come back, they can be pretty fun. And of course, like most people, I found the best parts of Suicide Squad to be the Joker and Harley Quinn. I love them. They're great. The whole movie should have been about them. They need to make a whole Joker-Harley movie. I want to see more of them. More of this Joker, more of this Harley. Don't recast Jared Leto and Margot Robbie. Keep them the same, just give us more. A lot of people didn't like the new Joker, and I found that kind of surprising. His voice and his mannerisms, he was very, very similar to the Heath Ledger Joker, but he also had kind of this new quality to him, because, Heath Ledger's Joker, he was all grungy and poor, and kind of like all of his actions were to serve kind of this larger thesis he had about chaos and anarchy. This Joker was, the almost like that guy was proven wrong, and so he just said, fuck it, and he's just sort of wallowing in hedonism and just mindless violence, just doing whatever he wants without any kind of larger scheme. I loved the visuals of Harley and Joker, all the gaudy jewelry and shit, and like the fancy cars, and just, dressing up in tuxedos and stuff. It was just like it was all just this big sleazy game to them. It was great. I loved them. Watching this movie, I just kept thinking, how is this the first time we've ever seen Harley Quinn on the big screen? How have they let this slip for like the last 10 years? It's unforgivable. Anyway, I'd love to see more Joker and Harley. Anyone who didn't like them in the movie, I don't know what you're talking about. Let's see, what else was in the movie besides them? Will Smith? Yeah, he's Will Smith. He's fine. I like him. The villain, the Enchantress, she was kinda, what the fuck? Yeah, she definitely appeals to my filthy, dirt-covered women in bikinis. That's great. They could have been better, but all the complaints I have about this movie kind of ultimately add to its lovableness, to its trashy, goofy appeal. Because, the Marvel movies are like, the clean-cut, straight-A football player who also gets good test scores. They're all perfect. Everything about them is just right. I don't know, for some reason that appeals to me less. I saw Captain America: The Winter Soldier once, and I just don't feel like ever seeing it again. And most people seem to love that movie. I don't get it. To me, it was just kind of dry and boring. Look at it this way. Some of my favorite movies are the, old school, bizarre 80s science fiction fantasy movies. Stuff like Zardoz, The Ice Pirates, Masters of the Universe. I don't love those movies because they're masterpieces. I love them because they're just fun and ludicrous and just, so bad they're good. And, normally it takes like 20 years for a movie to go from being just bad and dismissed by critics to being a treasured gem of your childhood. Me, I like to think that I've reached, a level of wisdom and aesthetic appreciation to where I don't need 20 years to appreciate junk. I can appreciate it right now. Everything that's wrong about Suicide Squad, the goofy henchmen with their lumpy rubber faces, the stupid off-the-wall villain doing her little hip swing, shimmy. This is how a harem girl dances. It's so stupid, but it's so fun. I don't care. I mean, you know that 20 years from now, you're going to look back and say, oh yeah, Suicide Squad. Man, that movie sucked, but I loved it. Like, man, that's just so 2016. That's just, we had so much fun trashing it and talking about how it could be better. But you know what? In its own twisted way, it's kind of perfect. I mean, that's how I feel, honestly. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh, this guy's probably some DC fanboy. This sounds like a DC apologist. And I can assure you that's not the case. I don't even read comic books. I have absolutely no strong attachment to DC or Marvel. I just like movies. And when it comes to just the movies, man, I mean, it's weird to say, but I'm looking forward to the DC universe more than the Marvel universe. Like, I have Marvel fatigue. I haven't seen Civil War yet, but I kind of have a pretty good idea what it's going to be like. I'm not looking forward to seeing Thanos come to Earth and assemble the Infinity Gauntlet. Thanos he's just this big purple Josh Brolin cartoon clown. He's not scary. He's not interesting. He floats around in a comical rocket chair. Just, ugh. Nah, I'm really looking forward to whatever dark, weird, flawed, trashy, off-the-wall garbage DC is gonna come up with next. Fucking Jason Momoa as Aquaman? Yes. Yes, please. Wonder Woman? Yes. There's gonna be like a Batman movie in the future with Ben Affleck fighting Jared Leto and Margot Robbie? Yes. That's the stuff I want. I mean, we'll bitch about it and complain about it and say that it could have been done better, but DC, man, DC. And speaking of another DC, if you didn't like Suicide Squad, keep this in mind. Daniel D.C. Cormier, the reigning light heavyweight champion of the UFC, said that he loved the film. If you don't agree, then step into the ring and get knocked the fuck out. Yeah!
Now step into the ring and get knocked the fuck out. You're gonna step into the ring and get knocked the fuck out?